Agent of the Vine, here to literally blow your mind. So, I've been inactive for quite a while, I think over a week now, for many reasons, one of those being sickness, but I've recovered well and gained many lessons and insights going through all that, which one of those being just realizing how truly beautiful life is. But in the meantime, I've been slowly cooking up this banger that I'm now presenting to y'all right now. This is my longest and deepest video thus far. I highly recommend you stick with me all the way through, or just as long as you can. Watch all the way through if you're wanting to reap the true value and understanding of this video, and also I recommend following up by watching the sources I provide in this video too. As always, have an open mind while listening and feel free to research in depthly anything spoken in this video. So with that said, it's time to put on the real talk agent glasses. Let's get it. The war on consciousness has been going on for far, far too long and affects majority of the world on a daily basis. Some consider the war on consciousness to be a war on drugs, like psychedelics. Some believe it's just a war on our own species and Earth. And personally, I emphasize the actual meaning, which is the war on your conscious or your focus. But also, this war on conscious attacks all aspects. The drugs, our own species, Earth, our consciousness, they get us from every single angle, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Whether this be through constant distractions, manipulating the food, unnecessary fear and suffering, or just people getting brainwashed to go against their fellow man and woman. Divide and conquer, a simple formula that the world has been run off for thousands of years now. Crimes against humanity, creation, nature, and God. The problem is not the system itself. The problem lies in the people who rule it, the power at B. If you've watched a show like The Avatar, and I highly recommend you do, you'd understand the power at B go through cycles. One's working for God, and others for Satan, for greed and power, or love and peace. Now, don't even get me started about the crime against nature. We are literally a parasite to this world, a virus. Not only that, somehow Bill Gates, a fellow Epstein Island visitor, is being funded to start to dim the sun with GMO dust particles. What? Completely going against God's creation and manipulating the environment. Has anybody thought of any long-term effects? Haven't we been praising the sun as the Most High forever? Simply because it's giving life to our whole world for us, multiple hundreds, thousands of years, let alone it existing for billions of years. Nice. We're going to die from the sun from becoming approximately too hot in like 1 billion years. That's fantastic. So why again do we have to block out the sun? This is going against creation, nature, and God. Oh, and we can't forget about humanity. There are more slaves in modern day than literally ever before, and they are working against the minds of the people at a mass level, restricting them from the mind's natural ways of creation, from its natural way of being, and filling our minds with half-truths, illusions, and distractions. Overall, just clogging the brains of the masses, resulting in mass confusion. I'm now going to be speaking on one of the most enlightening topics of this video. Everything is physical and supernatural. First off, let's define supernatural. Summed up, it essentially means something out of our senses. It is there, but we cannot see, smell, hear, feel it, etc. Science, our current understanding of the source, has been limited to only physical matter in the mainstream. Let me make it clear, I am not talking about I am talking about the science that is pushed in everybody's faces, that is taught in schools and is never connected with nature. They never connect the dots. It's just that. It is only limited to physical matter. And the Luciferians that are on the top of this system are censoring everything that takes this concept of only a physical world out of the public's eye. Let alone the fact that supernatural things are never covered in Western schools, yet being such a thing. It's just common sense. We cannot even see everything. We cannot sense everything. So why do we have to crush everything into reduction so we can understand it with our petty brains? I have to emphasize this statement of not connecting things with nature. You see, the people running the world are highly intellect. We are highly advanced, but not in the ways of God. Most people suffer from spiritual simultaneosia, with their inability to see how the apparently varied objects of this world are actually all connected, made of the same things, just supernatural things. Atoms, electrons, and neutrons that in reality are all made up of energy, which is sustained by consciousness. School never gets us to connect the dots between things like nature, the patterns of God, and our current understanding of the source, or science. For example, things like sacred geometry or true mathematics, now hidden mathematics. Note that we did not create math, we discovered it. For example, for true mathematics, the Fibonacci sequence or the golden ratio, and overall just the deep symbolic meanings of sacred numbers and symbols that form the patterns and cycles of time and space, and which are embedded in our everyday. Western schools will never teach of things that will assist you on your journey of controlling or mastering your own mind, understanding your lower and higher self, knowing thyself, and just balancing your own being internally. They can't even do the littlest thing like teach meditation. They are that strict on keeping everybody's beliefs and perspective, or reality, stuck in a physical world. They just want to set you up for confusion, suffering, and most importantly, consumerism. In reality, the mind is not equipped to simultaneously look at the world and perceive it as its unitary whole nature. That capacity only exists in our intuition aspect of our personality. Most people believe they can intellectually discover the secrets of the world and of themselves through things like sciences. Intellectualism and sciences have discovered many great things about this world. However, this intellectualism has never led to the mystical insights about creation or ways to bring harmony and peace into the world. Most of the highly advanced intellects are just causing mass destruction to the world and also humanity. Intellectualism is not necessarily good, nor will it lead to spiritual enlightenment or positive evolution. Matter of fact, it will lead to de-evolution. Just look at the state of the world today. At the brink of global environmental disaster, economic and political collapse, health crisis and religious crisis, and now currently being overrun by a man-made virus, all led by people with advanced intellectual capacities. Let's get on with consciousness and reality. The man who inspired this video, Graham Hancock, hosted a TED Talk where he spoke on the war on consciousness that ended up getting banned and censored from TEDx themselves, that I highly recommend you watch after this video. Link in the description. And check all the sources in the description, especially AfterSkool. Very informational. He also responded to this act with a video called Reality Control, in which he used this talk to get his TED Talk unbanned. But anyway, after this original talk blew up, they set out to ruin his reputation and ostracize his work, which they followed up by banning his talk. This created a fuss, and people asked why in return. Well, the response was, this video was full of pseudoscience, or pseudoscientific ideas, or supernatural, only accusing them and providing no proof. These concepts were scientific enough. It was just science that these people do not like publicized. There is a certain fraction of science that is called materialistic reductionism, where everything is reduced to matter. And I will speak on this more later on, but so the idea that there could be anything to the consciousness beyond the brain is an anathema to such scientists, let alone the fact that a ton of scientists came out to Graham and showed their agreement and support. And yet the common knowledge that the brain is just another organ in the body designed for survival of the fittest. Don't get it twisted, as you are the conscious awareness. You are the one simply experiencing merely the only truth of our reality, simply experience. But don't let this fool you though, as you are still whole, the whole, your body, mind, and ego. So you should very well be healthy and balanced in all aspects of you. But still you don't perceive or experience from these parts of you. Try it out. Feel your toes. Now your breath and your eyes. Or even try looking through a window and try to look at the glass and then the window again and the glass. It's quite mind-blowing actually. You see, this awareness is what these demonic high-ups are chasing after, trying to take control of at every second, at every corner. Think about it. If you're watching my video right now, that likely confirms that you have a phone and have access to news and related media. The TV programming, your phone, Netflix, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, celebrities and the internet drama that comes with it, death and fear, the crises, the billion-dollar food and drink corporations at every corner, the pharmaceutical companies that sponsor everybody for huge amounts, even including the news, and essentially that are the biggest scam in the world through manipulating taxes. Then you got to go to school, which takes up half your day for the young ones new to this earth, and they even likely had you in schooling before you were 7 during your analyzation adolescent stage of your life, where you observed and embraced these things you observed into your subconscious. And try to tell me your parents don't watch the news. Jeez. But you can easily detach from all of this, because the more aware you become, the easier it becomes to detach. If someone is awakened, they are simply only more aware than others. Also typically equally results in them being healthier physically, mentally, and spiritually. If one is successful, they are aware of the things that create success. And for someone who is enlightened, they have committed their whole life to awareness, studying every bit of man's work, aka our current understanding of source or science, nature, and God. The most key things to all of this life is our mind, simply because all is mind. Master your mind and you can become the master of your life, since it quite literally creates our whole individual reality. They try to claim your mind and use it for their own intentions through putting you through things like AfterSkool, which I like to call brain molding. But when you reclaim this mind of yours, your only other option is taking on your soul path, your divine life, which will be aligned with supporting humanity, nature, and just Earth as a whole. This is when your connection with Source grows, your divine connection. Meanwhile, all of this is being ran by a false narration, making it seem like everything's all A-okay, while they keep on distracting us from the bigger picture. A false narration created by demonic spirits, beings working under Satan that have the sole intention of stealing your energy. How so? Well, where attention goes, energy flows. This is a fact. Everybody should know this. Even something like resisting a cheesecake craving takes a lot of physical energy to perform. By putting your conscious focus on something, you are thinking about it, and merely thinking about something uses energy. But that's just the surface, as these thoughts can bring you into deeper thoughts that cause physical reactions, emotions, and feelings. And if you stress over something, you are literally draining your body and taking energy directly from your prefrontal cortex and many other areas of your body. And the prefrontal cortex is where all willpower lies. If your thoughts or actions lead you to being sleep deprived, then you will be at the level of being slightly intoxicated the next morning. And equivalently, meaning you will be more susceptible to impulses, distractions, and bad choices. The point here is if somebody or something is controlling your focus rather than you, it leads to unwanted things. Don't make this loss of your conscious a habit, or else you're sadly going to be another average Joe just wasting away their days. This has been going on for a long, long time, far too long. And now in present moment, it's a possibility it transitions into the biggest civil war of all time, or at least in our lives. It's surely looking like it might be the time, with the world being more divided as ever. And don't forget, all these wars are scripted, since they are the most profitable crisis in the world. Not only that, even The Simpsons predicted it. The consciousness is focus. It is your awareness. The simplest way to put this is whoever controls everything at the top, the high-ups, the elite, the powers that be, whatever you'd like to call them, they have everybody's attention focused on pointless stuff that merely just distracts and sucks in your energy. And since they literally create the money, and they are just the 1% wealthy, they can do whatever, literally whatever they want. Things you couldn't even imagine. And if you have a working mind, you understand to become this wealthy, you're not doing anything good for humanity or this earth. You are essentially a living demon. But not only that, you're above all people and restrictions. And courts, can't forget that. And since you have all the money in the world, well, what would you like to do? You can bribe politicians, you can get the top of social media platformers, on and on. In modern day, the internet and media has majority of people's focus. Imagine if you couldn't buy internet. You literally have no clue about any of this election garbage or any pointless drama. Free of it all. Full control over your energy, which you'd likely be spending on getting food and water. But the point here is, imagine if you were free of all this clutter in your mind. Think about school again. The only thing you do is regurgitate what you're told. Such limited knowledge. And they fill your mind with this pointless information that clogs up our brain and can only provide value in their system. But don't worry, because you'll learn how to pay the ones who set up this education for you through taxes and be able to get a 9-to-5 job. If you want to be an average Joe, that's fantastic. But I guarantee most of the people watching my videos and similar videos are trying to live to their full potential, trying to discover their life path, a soul path of supporting humanity and Earth through what they love / just their passions. Their full focus is on their life path and becoming their best version. Not no side missions, but instead their main mission. Committed to gratitude and love and sharing it with the world around them. Simply just being a small piece of love and peace in the universe. Of all my journey, I came to some deep conclusions. You can either work against the human race, the earth, by dumbing down and distracting them, which you get rewarded for, therefore working for Satan or Lucifer, or you work to aid and improve and progress the human race, helping them excel with health, longevity, and enlightenment, while supporting or being one with nature. Don't ever forget, we are nature. Such common sense, but even some people will deny this. By doing this, you will align with the universe and God and are rewarded through nature. But you don't make off well in this system, or what I like to call the Matrix, the man-made devil. Instead, you'll learn the ways of nature, the ways of love and understanding your own being and the laws of creation, which you may pursue any one of your dreams. You see, everything comes down to a conscious choice. So what will you choose? What will you choose? There are only two energies that exist in this earth, good and evil. In the center of these energies is your conscious. So you're capable of going in each direction, and each direction holding whatever you choose to make of it. The original founder of this war on consciousness got it from the war on drugs, as it is being proven day by day that our major evolution, the major spike we had, the shift into the modern symbolic humans we are in modern day, was sourced from hallucinogens. And nowadays, drugs like shrooms and DMT and ayahuasca have been diminished and ostracized. If you are being totally safe and of no risk or harm to any other life or the environment, you can still go to prison for decades. Of course, the laws protecting individuals from harming each other are good and worthy laws, but these ones are restricting natural plants that our ancestors have been using, studying, and cultivating with for millenniums. Psychedelics are illegal, not because a loving government is concerned that you may jump out of a third-story window. Psychedelics are illegal because they dissolve opinion structures and culturally laid down models of behavior and information processing. They open you up to the possibility that everything you know may be wrong. That's a quote from Terence McKenna. This is an extremely powerful quote and is best understood with this metaphor. Your subconscious traits, habits, thought processes, and etc. are like paths of snow on a mountain. If you're tobogganing down this mountain, you are likely going to fall or slide into these already made trails. But when you take a psychedelic, it's like it snows again. You are free to create whatever trail you want. This is why it opens you up to the possibility that everything you know may be false. This subject is quite easy to decode when you understand how these drugs were made illegal in the first place. Drugs like psychedelics and marijuana were made out to seem like if you took them or consumed them, you'd turn into a serial killer. It's time to die, bitch. Or a rapist. Or just go insane. When in reality, they're the complete opposite. They make you relax or help you deeply connect you with source and nature. They aid you in the quest to understand your mind, nature, and God. Woody Harrelson, a very popular actor, has a documentary about the history of weed that will really blow your mind if you watch it. It's called Grass. I'll leave it down in the description below. And it even has a documentary called Time to Unslave Humanity. Like, come on, please. People will say money is the root of all evil, but I just can't see it. It's merely the collective consciousness, the mindset or perspective us humans currently have at a mass level that is destroying our own species and the environment around us. We are literally dumbing ourselves down. And for all we know, if we stay in this state of consciousness, we could prevent our fractal evolutionary cycles of consciousness, our progression in consciousness, because we're globally living like mental slaves. With that said, I'm going to wrap it up with some predictions for the upcoming weeks and the whole of 2021. First off, we got B117, the new COVID variant. Well, just like the beginning of 2020, when everybody was distracted with World War III and the Kobe death, we are now distracted with Sleepy Joe, QAnon Trump, both two pieces of false narration being ruled by evil that have the same intentions, get you the vaccine. And while majority are focused on this pointless drama, and in the upcoming weeks, good and evil are really going to show themselves. They are coming to the surface. And if there's any chance of a revolution, it is now. I've also been preaching this off social media platforms for a while, and I ain't even trying to fearmonger, don't get it twisted, this is just a warning, but the biggest civil war ever could be ahead of us. We've been in the spiritual war for a long time, and it could be now advancing to the next level, which may result in things like a wide blackout, which I honestly doubt, concentration camps, which I highly doubt, and even a revolution, which, who knows. And Trump could even very well be the perfect one in place to set this all up. With everything going on, silencing him on every piece of demonically controlled social medias and trying to impeach him with only approximately a week left, it seems odd considering the Bible predicted this for years and now even The Simpsons. But no matter what happens, there's going to be mass riots and destructions on either sides, complete mayhem, as the world is more divided than ever before, just as they plan to be. Because this is when the new strain, B117, comes in from right under everybody's feet, just like in 2020 with COVID. And this will result in deaths likely into the 100,000s plus and create mass fear and panic. You will only see of these deaths on the news. Since the majority of the world are addicted to drama, they are addicted to the news like crack. So it's the best place to promote fear, death, distractions, and push false narratives and agendas, and on and on. For the awakened ones who can see the bigger picture and are just chilling, watching all this Matrix script play out, keep focusing on you. You have your own life, your own individual reality you can create and need to take care of. Protect your energy, fam. You finna need it. Also, we got aliens or the Galactic Federation, which are already going on through the mainstream. This will be publicized this year, but not truthfully. They will manipulate it to fear and divide people like everything in this media or matrix. And now they're not going to let anyone be happy this year, if I'm being honest with you. So watch out for a lot more celebrity deaths and drama. Be sure that you are not worshipping these celebrities and just try to be grateful for their work instead and just tune into it. Leave it at that. You have your own life to live. I know this gets tossed around a lot, but if there's any time for this, it's now. The world is calling for a mass awakening, and it's looking like it could pull through. People opening up to the demonic truth of this world, they will have no option but to realize this is a system designed to limit and dumb us down, ruled by demonic beings who can do whatever they choose under Satan. So to summarize this, we have the fight of good and evil coming to the light. This could be the result of many things like a revolution, a blackout, concentration camps, and the biggest civil war of all time. Don't forget, we are the chosen ones, so simply be prepared, not in fear. And catching the world off guard while they're distracted on pointless shenanigans, aliens / the Galactic Federation being globally publicized and will be heavily twisted in the media. Don't believe anything the mainstream media tells you. A year full of celebrity death and overall drama and man-made fear. Counteract this by simply not tuning in to their false narratives, and free yourself by taking control of your own individual reality. Focus on your experience right now, not social media and other platforms unless they are benefiting you. And hopefully, but probably not likely, a mass awakening if some sort of revolution pulls through. Not too sure on this one, as it relies on Trump being part of a secret alliance. He's merely a puppet meant to lead the attractions of the masses. But, I mean, we'll see with time. Life is beautiful. And if you have not already realized this, you will realize this in your own unique way. If you deeply contemplate on it, the only base reality, the only truth there is merely just experience. Everything else that presents itself to us is merely an illusion. And this is beautiful, because in this beautiful life we are experiencing, we can create whatever we'd like. And the more aware you become, the more easier it is to actually focus on what you truly want out of your life. That said, we're ending it here. Agent of Divine, signing out. Peace and love.